Okay, let's just dive right in. That feeling of being totally overwhelmed by money, the stress, the constant worry, it's something so many of us know all too well. But what if there was a way out? Not just to get by, but to build a completely different financial future. Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can move from financial stress to real financial empowerment. And it all starts right here, with this incredibly raw quote from Lewis Howes. This just gets to the absolute heart of the problem, doesn't it? Financial trouble isn't just about numbers in a bank account. It's about shame, our identity, and our very sense of self-worth. The pain of money is so personal. It creates this sense of paralysis, this fear that just keeps you stuck. Let's really explore why by looking at a couple of powerful, real-life stories. And that feeling of being completely and utterly stuck, it does not care how old you are. Seriously, whether you're 23 and feel like your life hasn't even begun, or you're 41 and feel like everything you've worked for is crumbling, that panic feels exactly the same. So let's look at two people who hit absolute rock bottom. Their journeys through what you could only call financial hell show us that a way out is possible for absolutely anyone. I mean, just look at how different their situations were. You've got Lewis Howes, 23 years old. His dream of playing pro football is completely shattered. He's injured, he's broke, he's literally sleeping on his sister's couch. Then you've got Mel Robbins, 41, a successful lawyer, a mom, but she's facing bankruptcy, she's over $1 million in debt, and she's about to lose her house. Two totally different lives, but the same feeling of complete desperation. Mel talks about the daily humiliation of it all. Can you imagine standing in a grocery store, just praying your card doesn't get declined, and having a whole speech ready for when it inevitably does? That's not just a financial problem, that's a soul-crushing weight you're carrying around every single day. And for Lewis, it was a total crisis of identity. Here he was, a grown man, an athlete, and suddenly he's completely dependent on his sister for food and shelter. He said he felt like a child, and that feeling of worthlessness was just as crippling as having no money in the bank. So how in the world do you climb out of a hole that deep? Well, it definitely doesn't happen overnight. The journey out begins with a few small and, honestly, kind of terrifying first steps. Lewis's turning point came when he decided he had to take massive action, confronting his fears head-on. He joined Toastmasters to learn public speaking, even though he was petrified. He even tells a story about being so broke he'd stuff free broccoli and carrots from the snack table into his pockets just to have something to eat. That's desperation for sure, but you know what else it is? It's drive. And this timeline really shows that the path out was a process. From joining Toastmasters in 2008 all the way to launching his now famous podcast in 2012, that took 4 years of consistent grinding action. It was a climb, not a teleportation. Okay, so from these stories, we can actually pull out a really clear framework for changing our own relationship with money. It all boils down to 3 essential keys. The 3 keys are, first, you gotta heal your money wounds from the past. Second, you have to reset your money mindset in the present. And third, you need to find your meaningful money mission for the future. Past, present, and future. Simple. So what on earth is a money wound? Well, think of it like this. It's a negative memory from your past. Could be big, could be small, that is now secretly controlling how you think and act with money today. It's like an invisible anchor holding you back. And these wounds, they can come from anywhere. Maybe you heard your parents fighting over bills all the time, or you felt that sting of shame because you couldn't afford the same things as your friends. For Lewis, a huge one was when he was a kid and needed to find $5 just to join a neighborhood club. It made him feel like he had to literally pay to have friends, a painful lesson that tied his value directly to money. Okay, the second key is all about resetting your money mindset by consciously changing the story you tell yourself. So instead of, "Oh, I'm just bad with money," you start telling yourself, "I am learning to be great with money." See the shift? It's not about lying to yourself. It's about giving yourself permission to actually grow. And you can start with a mantra that sounds almost too simple, but it is surprisingly powerful. Just repeating, "Money is good, money is my friend," helps to rewire your brain to see money not as this scary enemy, but as a tool that's here to help you. The third and final key is finding your meaningful money mission. This is your why. It's the purpose that gives all your financial efforts direction and meaning. Because without a mission, making money just feels like a stressful, endless chore, right? And listen, your mission does not have to be some grand, world-changing vision. It could be super practical and short term, like, my mission for the next 90 days is to pay off this one credit card. Or, yeah, it can be a lifelong ambition. The scale doesn't matter. The clarity is what counts. Now, let's really zero in on this idea of a mission, because it might just be the most powerful, forward-looking step in this entire transformation. When Lewis was on his sister's couch, his first mission wasn't to become a millionaire. It was this: make $5,000 from one speech within 9 months. He wrote it down, he framed it, and he put it on his wall. That specific, visible goal created an urgency that drove every single one of his actions.
So the key takeaway here is this: your financial past does not have to be your financial future. A totally different reality is possible, and it starts with this 3-part process. Heal the wounds from your past, reset the mindset of your present, and define a clear mission for your future.
Which brings us to the final question, and this one is just for you. Don't even think about next year or the next decade, just for the next 3 months. What is your money mission? Defining that one thing might just be the first step to changing everything.